Hey everyone, and welcome to this good evening bed yoga sequence. Don't worry, we're not actually going to be somersaulting all over the place. We're just going to be ironing out all the creases, stretching and strengthening so that you get a good night's rest. So we'll begin in a comfortable seated position. Make sure that you're lengthening through the spine, and this is even more difficult because of the sponginess of the bed. And we'll inhale, puff up the chest. Exhale, round through the back in this seated cat and cow. So we inhale as we puff up the chest, heart forward, look up. And as we exhale, round through the back, pull the upper back away from the hands. Inhale, open up through the chest, look up. Exhale, round through the back. And just cross the legs the other way now as we begin circling through the spine, nice and gently, any direction that feels natural. And if anywhere has a little bit of tension or resistance, instead of fast forwarding, why not slow down in that area and really get curious as to what's going on in your body today. Change direction, circling the other way. Nice and slowly noticing what's going on in the hips as we take our focus inward, exploring through the body. Just a few more circles here in your own time, focusing on deepening the breath as we bring the left shoulder, the left ear down towards the left shoulder, one hand over top, and extend the right arm away from you as we lengthen down the right side of the neck. Changing sides, right ear to right shoulder, right arm over the top as we lengthen the left arm away, just lightly stretching down the side of the neck as we inhale deeply and exhale deeply into our lower tummy, letting all the stresses of the day go as we lightly bring the chin down towards the chest and rest the hands just lightly on the back of the head. Make sure not to collapse in the spine here. We want the spine straight as we just stretch down the back of the neck, deepening the breath. Letting go of the tension. Wrapping right arm under left now as we eagle arm. Inhale, lift the hands up to the ceiling as you feel that stretch across the back of the shoulder blades. And release now into cow face arms, the right arm over the top, left arm underneath. Don't worry if the hands don't join, you can grab hold of your clothes. You can even activate here by pulling the hands away from the body in an active version of the stretch. And we'll change sides now, so wrapping left arm underneath, right in our cow face arms, eagle arms, lifting hands to ceiling, stretching through the back of the shoulder blades. And now the cow face arms, left arm over the top, right arm underneath. Either grab clothes, grab hands, making sure the neck stays as one long extension of the spine here, or you can activate pulling the hands away from the body. Inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, goddess arms, elbows wide, chest forward. Inhale, up. Exhale, goddess arms opening up through the chest. Inhale, up. Exhale, elbows wide, chest open, and rotating the arms forwards now. Try and keep the elbows in line with the shoulders as we just work out the niggles through the shoulder girdle and work on a little bit of our end range mobility here. Inhale. Now we'll change to the back. Same thing, inhale, straighten. Exhale, bring the hands behind you and try not to touch the hands onto the clothes. Inhale, straighten them out. Exhale, rotate forwards and bring the hands behind the back. Inhale, rotate back, open the chest. Exhale, rotate forwards, hands behind the back. You don't need to be in time with me here. You can work with your own breath. If you want to slow down, it's all good. just work out how that feels. If you've got a few snap, crackle, pops on one side more than the other in the shoulders, that's perfectly normal. As we just continue to rotate through the shoulder girdle here, and I'll show you what's happening behind me as well so you can see. Inhale, I rotate, open back. Exhale, rotate forwards and bring the hands behind the back, but without touching the back of the palms to the back itself. Inhale, open up the chest, palms up. Exhale, palms down, and bring the hands behind the back. And this time, if you can, we'll take prayer position behind the back, or if this isn't possible for you, you can grab elbow to elbow and keep opening up through the chest. As we exhale, we'll rotate to the left. Inhale, center, and exhale, rotate to the right. Good. Slowly release the hands, shake them out or circle them if it feels good for you to do so. And we'll come back to our comfortable seated position, deepening the breath. Bring the hands to Anjali Mudra. As you exhale, take that rotation again to the left, just by using your core strength to begin with. And then rest the right hand over the left knee. Bring the left hand behind you, more passively into the stretch. Inhale back to center, exhale to the right, using the core strength to begin with. And then feel free to settle that left hand to the right knee, bring the right hand behind you, now more passively into this seated twist. Each inhale, lengthen the spine. Each exhale, move into the twist as we repeat that same thing to the left. First actively and then placing the arms more passively. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the right, just using the core to move us. Then settling the hands. Maybe on that second exhale, you move a little further, more passively into the stretch. Good. Let's bring ourselves onto all fours now as we inhale. Release the tummy, open the chest. Exhale, push the bed away and the back of the heart to the ceiling in our cat and cow. Inhale, cow. Exhale, think angry cat, really round through the upper back. Tuck the tailbone. Inhale, cow. Now open the tailbone, heart forwards. Making sure that we're keeping shoulders stacked over wrists and hips stacked over knees. Good, we'll walk the hands a little further forward now to our puppy dog pose. Trying to keep those bottom ribs hugging towards the hips to begin with. So we're opening up through the shoulder girdle a little more and we're active in the core region here in our puppy dog pose. Now we can relax the chest down. Open through the shoulders. If you're not sure if you're putting enough tension into this pose, bring the fingertips onto like cupcake hands or spider hands so that we're opening through the shoulders. If this is enough, stay with this. Or if you want a little more, keeping the shoulders externally rotated, bring the hands to prayer pose and thumbs towards the top of your head. You can stay in a passive range here or move between the two. So maybe you want to inhale as you relax the chest down to the bed and exhale, hug the ribs back towards the hips. So we're activating again in the core. Inhale, relax, find your passive range. Exhale, activate, find that strength through the core, the shoulders, and through all of our ranges of mobility there. Good, bring the chest forward now into Sphinx pose, resting on the elbows, opening the heart forwards. And instead of thinking about resting here, keep thinking about pulling the heart forwards. Good, you can stick with that or feel free to bring the hands out to the side as we take a few little waves and ripples through the upper back. Good, now bringing the left foot over to the right in this lower back twist. Don't worry if the foot doesn't make it to the hand, that's not the goal. Just aiming to keep the front of both of your shoulders on the bed and letting that left leg and hip follow over in the twist. And doing the same thing on the other side. Right leg now opens out to the left. Keep encouraging that right shoulder down towards the bed as we encourage this lumbar twist, and also opening up through the hip flexor and the front body here. Good. Slowly come back down onto the tummy. Bring the heels into the bum, and we grab the feet behind us, the feet or ankles. Make a decision if you want to point, flex, or floint in between the two. As we inhale, push the feet into the hands, opening back into our bow pose on the bed. Keep the knees squeezing together here. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, push the feet into the hands, open up through the chest. You can separate the knees if you want to. You can bring them together. Experiment with trying to ground the knees down to the bed and how that changes, opening further into the upper back. Good. Release when you're ready and slowly make your way to child's pose, resting the hips down towards the feet, nestling your forehead into your comfy bed. Deepening the breath here. Connecting once more to your center and letting go of whatever's going on in your mind if your attention has been taken away from your breath. Good. Slowly make your way into pigeon pose, bringing the left foot forwards at 90 degrees and the right leg behind you. If the left front foot starts to creep towards you, don't worry, but do your best to keep the hips stacked over the top. You can stay upright, supporting on straight arms here, or feel free to come down to the elbows, or relax forwards like I'm doing here. And if that feels a little much, then just utilize those cushions and the pillows and whatever else you have handy nearby to find some passive stretch in your pigeon pose, really letting go at the back of that left hip. And of course, if you want to add a little more stretch into the front of that right hip flexor, feel free to take some mermaid variations here or a king pigeon pose. Just listening to the body and doing what feels right for you with your pigeon pose here. Remembering that we're all exactly where we need to be in this moment. Good. Release when you're ready. Make your way back to all fours and take a few cat and cow or some free movements, some crazy cats here. Whatever feels good. If you need to circle the hips, just do whatever feels natural in your body in this moment. And we will set up for the same thing on the other side. Challenge yourself to get there if you'd like to do so, like I'm doing here, by rocking back and then coming to a lunge position. Then we'll repeat on the other side. Just really going with the flow there, challenging myself in between pigeon poses. So setting up with the right leg forwards in 90 degrees, square those hips and really stack the hips over the top as we extend the left leg behind us in our pigeon pose. Inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, you can fold forwards if it feels good to do so. Really relax into that exhale breath now and try and make the exhale at least twice as long as your inhale breath here. Knowing that whatever comes into your mind is perfectly normal, but keep reminding yourself to bring your attention back to the breath. Again, feel free to take any variations here of your mermaid or king pigeon pose. Deepening the breath and always letting the breath be our guide. If the breath becomes held, then that's a sign that we're pushing ourselves and perhaps not being as honest in our practice as we perhaps could be. Release when you're ready and bring yourselves back to all fours, circling through the shoulders, the spine, the hips, whatever feels right for you in this moment. Turning the hands outwards now until the fingers face towards the knees. Take a big inhale, and as you exhale, bring the bum back towards the heels, so we're stretching down the arms here. You could even take some cat and cow here as well. See how that changes the sensations down our arms and into our wrists and hands. And if that's a little too much, just keep the shoulders a little further forward. It's all good. Release the hands, and this time we'll turn palms facing down and fingers still facing towards the knees as we cat and cow in this position, stretching across the top of the hands and again into the forearms. Inhale, open the chest, relax the tummy. Exhale, round the upper back and bring the navel towards the spine. Good, release. Turn the fingers outwards this time and rock side to side gently. Then we'll sit the bum back to the heels as we circle through the wrists, circling one way and the other. Bringing the hands to Anjali Mudra. Take both palms over to the left and see if you can feel that stretch pushing into the left wrist and forearm. Exhale, move it over to the right. Really using the left fingertips to push into that right palm. Feeling the stretch down the right wrist and into the right forearm. Good. And again, take the palms over to the left of center. Big inhale, and exhale, take them over to the right of center, pushing using the fingertips. Inhale, come onto the knees, bring the arms overhead. Exhale, hands into Anjali Mudra as we set up for some of our back bending now. Bring the hands to the lower back, fingers facing up towards the bra strap as we open the chest. Think about pulling the heart up rather than leaning back into a back bend. Keep pulling the heart up, up, up as we make our way into camel. Keep the hands on the lower back if it's enough, or if it feels good for you to do so, bring the hands down to the heels. Be careful through the neck here. If it feels better for you, maybe it's keeping chin to chest. Maybe relaxing the head all the way back or taking a few sweeping circles with the arms here feels good if you're comfortable in your camel pose. But again, listen to the breath here. If the breath is free-flowing, then you're comfortable within your body. And if the breath is a little short and tight, then just go back a step. Maybe just holding for 5 breaths exactly where you are, trying to deepen the breath is enough. Or maybe flowing a little bit in your camel pose here is what you need in this moment. Good, slowly release the way we came in. Bring the bum back down to the heels, hands to heart center, and breathe with a neutral spine. We'll repeat once more, bringing the hands to the lower back. Inhale, open the chest and pull your heart up, up, up towards the ceiling. Stay there if it's enough, or if you want a little more, hands down to the heels. And if you're in this variation, then keep pushing the hips forwards. And you can always bring the hands to heart center here and make sure you're not dumping into the lower back. And another option is to bring the hands overhead and the thumbs to our third eye as we slowly release bottom back down to heels with a neutral spine. Release through the breath. Good. Slowly bring your way back into a comfortable seated position. As we go for our double seated pigeon here, we're going to flex the ankles. You can use as many cushions as you want if you have a big gap in between the knee and foot. But flexing the ankles, we want to stack the left foot on top of the right knee. If anything, if the foot's a little bit past the knee, then that's preferable. And we want to have the shins stacked one on top of each other here in our double pigeon pose. And as I said, if you've got a big gap in between the knee and right foot, that's fine. Just prop cushions in there and make yourself as comfortable as you can. Then we'll straighten the spine once more and deepen the breath here as we release the back of both hips. If it feels good for you, you can circle through the neck and stay upright seated. And if you feel like the hips start to let go at the back, feel free to fold forwards now with folded arms, or extend the arms and bring the forehead down towards the bed. Make sure you're not forcing anything here, and being aware of of keeping that forward tilt in the pelvis so we can really release through the back of the legs. Good. When you're ready, we'll release without using the hands. Straighten the legs in between, using a little core strength, and then folding right leg on top of left, trying to do our best to stack the shins on top of one another, and we're keeping the feet flexed to protect the knees. Straighten the spine here. Make sure you're tilting the pelvis forwards so we have a really straight spine and we're really increasing the tension in the back of the hips, and then allowing the breath to help us release that tension. Each time you exhale, think about letting go of whatever sensations you can feel more and more. Feel free to stay upright or, as before, fold forward if it feels good for you to do so, and you can keep that forward rotation of the pelvis and a nice straight spine, then please do so. Listen to your breath. Let go in the hips. Well done. Let's bring that right foot to our left elbow crease now and wrap the right arm around the right leg as we cradle that leg in towards us. Keep the left leg extended out in front of you. We're just going to gently rock through the hips here. We'll flex the left foot or point, but try and keep that leg active either way. Just rocking out a little more through the back of that right hip. Place the right leg back down onto the left in a figure four as we inhale, arms up, and exhale, fold forwards. Don't worry where the hands come to if they don't make it to the foot. You can rest the hands on the bed. And again, please feel free to use pillows here. If you'd rather rest the head onto a pillow, it's all good. We're going to take our hands to heart center now and activate here. As we inhale, lift the right leg off the left and try and keep it in that figure four position. Really using some of our active motion here around the hip, which we don't do as often, perhaps. Inhale, reach up once more, and exhale, fold forwards. And all those muscles that we're activating just then, now let's try and release them even more. Good. Slowly straighten out the legs, shake them out, let it go. And we'll repeat on the other side as we bring the left foot into the right arm crease, elbow crease, and cradle the left arm around the leg. Just lightly shaking side to side, keep straightening the spine here and encouraging the shin towards the chest. Right leg is straight and active, and we place that left leg back down. Inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, fold forwards. Really try and let go in that right quad. If it's a little tight with the ankle on top of it, it's all good. As soon as you let go, you'll wish you'd done so sooner. And let's activate now as we did before, going hands free. We'll inhale, bring the hands to heart center, lift the left leg off the right, trying to keep it in that figure four as best you can. I know it's tough. Really working in that hip flexor and around the hip socket to activate. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Good. Inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, fold forwards again. And maybe with a new awareness of all those muscles that we're activating just then, now do your best to relax them even more. Good. Release and shake out. Once more, jiggle through the legs and slowly lower back down onto the bed. Bring the knees to the chest. Give yourself a big hug. And you can rock side to side here a little, or forward and back. Just whatever feels good for you in this moment. Straightening the legs overhead now. We'll come into our shoulder stand, and you can stay with straight legs or bend the knees into a plow pose and bring them either side of the ears or down to the forehead. Being careful of the neck here, make sure you're listening to the body. And slowly lower down as we straddle the legs down to the sides. Bend the knees back through center and straighten the legs. And maybe work on a few rotations here through the hips. How does it feel when we bring the knees together? And how does it feel when we separate them apart like a diamond shape? Close your eyes and inwardly rotate the legs. And then exhale, outwardly rotate the legs. Just notice how that feels. Straddling the legs now. Bring the hands together. Fingers extending as we exhale, bend to happy baby. Exhale, straighten the legs. Inhale, bend to happy baby, and this time grab the feet onto the hands. As we exhale, pull the knees down towards the armpits. And do your best to keep straightening your spine here. I know it's an extra challenge in the softness of our bed, but perhaps we find a little more relaxation in our happy baby this evening. Again, there's no need to stay still here. By all means, you can do with your breath, but maybe you want to shake side to side or bend one leg and straighten the other in opposition. Just working out all the niggles in your hips, your knees, your spine, and always coming back to the breath. Slowly release your happy baby as we cross left leg over right. You can single or double wrap the knees, it doesn't matter. Bring the knees down to the right as we look to the left in our twist here. Keeping both shoulder blades on the bed and relaxing into the lumbar spine twist. Inhale deeply. Exhale, release. Crossing right leg over left this time. Bring the knees back through center and let the knees fall to the left this time, and we look to the right hand. Inhale deeply. Exhale, relax into the twist, letting go of any worries. Slowly bring the legs back through center. As we make our way nice and gently towards the wall or a headboard, into legs up the wall pose here. And a good way to get in is if you line yourself up sideways and then roll over onto your back. Or by all means, if you have lots of pillows like I do here, you can jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. And maybe it's not as graceful as we hope it is, but jiggle your way until you have your bottom connected to the wall. And if you want to prop a pillow underneath your hips so that your hips are higher, this is still a variation of an inversion, and a really nice restorative inversion at that. So make your way into your most comfortable legs up the wall pose, and we'll relax for our Shavasana here. Inhale, deepening the breath. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, deepening the breath. And exhale, let it go. Stay here for as long as you wish. Continually bringing the attention back to the breath. And just noticing how the body feels as we've used our movement to allow ourselves into stillness. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Hope to see you on the next one. Namaste.